Hi, this is Sebastian, and I'm going to take a couple of minutes to show you one of my favorite tools out on the market. This is AppBot. I've been using it for a number of years. I remember first being introduced to AppBot and being pretty amazed, and introducing AppBot to a number of my friends and colleagues over the years, and it's been really impressive seeing the community around mobile app development and product managers and engineers that have really loved and used AppBot over the years. One of the biggest features that is used for AppBot that I know of is sending your app reviews to a Slack channel. That's probably the number one thing that I know most app developers and product managers care about and use AppBot for. Previously, it was a big pain to log into the Google console each time you wanted to look at reviews or go to the Play Store or the App Store. And definitely AppBot is worth the money at the very least each month to pipe all of your reviews to a Slack channel. So if you launch a new app update, you can see all of those reviews live. And so in this window right here, this is the AppBot site. I have the Trello application here. That's the application we've been looking at in some of the other videos in this channel for the past week. And you can see it has 4,000 reviews here with, it has the average rating across all those reviews. And you can see the breakdown right here. So this is great. You can see the sentiment for each review. So there's a positive, negative. There's even automated topics that pop up that's kind of interesting. And they also have reviews and ratings separated, which is super useful, right? So you can actually see rating spikes and compare them to review spikes. And they're two very, very helpful tools. Another one that's really helpful for AppBot is for looking at this words right here. So you can actually see a word cloud. You can try to pick up on trends. And you can see top words here by different languages. You can sort by date. You can have all these filters over here. This is definitely worth exploring if you don't use AppBot or haven't used a tool that's similar to this. What I'm going to show you is what I've done at a number of companies previously. And so one of the biggest things that I encountered building features and bugs for an application is what I'm building, is this actually the most impactful thing for users right now? And the best way to do that is to be able to determine, X number of users are asking for this, or X number of users are having trouble with this bug. And more importantly, if it's a bug or a feature request, how is that impacting my bottom line? How is that impacting my rating? And obviously from reviews doesn't dictate your overall rating, but you can get somewhat of a picture of, from this average rating from your reviews, how that impacts your total rating. And obviously the rating count is much higher than the number of reviews. This is for the past year for Trello. But you can get some trends and some analysis there. And most importantly for me, working as either on product or engineering, is knowing I'm really working on something that's great. It's really going to push the needle, as opposed to I'm fixing something or I'm building a new feature, but I really don't know how impactful that is. And the sentiment analysis over here is pretty helpful for understanding if users are happy or sad. But the thing that I did that I really liked is using this tags. And so I went into the Trello application. I think I tagged 40 reviews. And you can see in this area the number of mentions for each review. So for example, this is the number of users that mention dark mode. And I went in here, and for every user, and this is Romulo mentioned they wanted dark mode, and this this review from Run a Deep mentioned they wanted a dark theme. And this is what I've accustomed to. So I'd actually go in every week into AppBot, go look at all the reviews that are left. I spend probably a couple of hours actually reading through them, because you could try to pick up on some words, but a lot of reviews are pretty subtle, especially if they're in a condensed format, especially if they're from a different language and they're translated. Like, you really have to spend a little bit of time on each review trying to figure out what does the user actually want, or what does the user actually need? And I'd go in and tag each one of these reviews. So in this case, this needs help tag are users that I determined that these are things that they could do in the application, but they actually need help. And in this case, this user, Nitin, mentions description of a card gets deleted automatically. I've lost a lot of notes because of this. And in Trello, this isn't a bug. This is probably a harder to use feature that the user actually has to accept a card or press the check mark in order to add the description there. And this user probably doesn't know how to do that. And so in this case, I would tag this issue as the user needs help. And it's kind of, again, that type of insight took a little bit of time to pick up and really dig into. And this one is kind of interesting too. This is a missing stars tag. These are all very positive reviews. You'll see the sentiment is positive. I guess this one's neutral. But yeah, these are all very positive reviews with 4 stars or less than 5 stars. So essentially, we need to follow up with these users and see why they aren't leaving a 5-star, right? And so this is what I do every week as a developer, and I'd present this to the team. I'd go into this tags page, I'd show these mentions, and we'd link these to Jira tickets. If we didn't have an outstanding Jira ticket, we'd go in and make one on the spot, and nobody would do this, right? Because it takes time. Everybody on the product team had a gazillion meetings every day, and they couldn't take the time to really dig into this every week. Maybe it happened every once in a while, but doing it consistently is the most important thing, because you can build up these tags over time. Topics are really, really good. And if you are familiar with AppBot, having these custom topics is nice because you can actually set them trained on specific words. But that's kind of like a first line of defense. But to really get a sense of like what are the really especially for tough bugs, like they can be expressed in different ways. That's where the tags came into play. And so I just wanted to show that feature, how I was accustomed to tagging reviews in AppBot, and what I really think is a powerful feature out of AppBot that takes time to use, but when done, you can turn these into you can link this to your ticket that you're working on, and the developer can come in here and immediately read through all this information and see exactly what users are complaining about or what they need, and that is like phenomenal, right? Especially if you're making a ticket criteria, right? If you're making requirements or edge cases, or you're looking at a hard to reproduce bug, maybe there's subtle insights from the 6 different reviews that users left about that. So that's the main thing I wanted to show for AppBot. Definitely take a look at it and check it out if you're not using it. They support a number of different sources beyond the App Store and Play Store. And so, if you are an app developer or you create software, I highly recommend AppBot. And they have a number of different plans that you can use as well. The most basic plans will allow you to look at your app data for maybe 1 or 2 apps, and then they have much higher level plans as well. If you have something a little bit more custom, you need to process custom data, you need to export this out in custom reports. So very, very cool tool. I've been using it for a number of years, and of all the great tools that are out there, definitely worth checking out.